Hi friends! We're so happy to see you back on our channel. Today is a very special day because Tim is going to tackle a new map in Roblox called Obby, but you're in bike. Can you imagine? Tim will be riding a bike and overcoming various obstacles. This will be an incredibly exciting adventure, full of unexpected twists and cool tricks. I can't wait to see how Tim handles all the challenges. Are you ready? I definitely am.
Yeah, today there will be a lot of action and tough challenges. I can already feel the tension building up. These obstacles can be really tough, but I'm sure Tim will get through all the difficulties and show everyone what he's capable of. Let's see how he handles each challenge along the way.
Oh, I'm already getting nervous just thinking about these obstacles. But don't worry, we'll be right there with Tim every step of the way, supporting him and helping him overcome all the difficulties. I hope everything goes smoothly and without any incidents. The most important thing is for Tim to be careful and remember safety first.
Honestly, I'm a bit skeptical. These bikes and obstacles can be dirty and unpleasant, but I still believe Tim will overcome all the challenges and show everyone how to do it stylishly and neatly. Let's cheer him on and see how he handles this test.
So, let's start our adventure. Today we'll be riding bikes and overcoming obstacles in Obby, but you're in bike. It's going to be fun and exciting. Subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and leave your comments. Let's go.
Don't judge Tim too harshly. He just recently started riding a bike, and he might fall. Let's support him when he falls. Support will definitely help him right now.
As you may have noticed, Tim is wearing black clothes today. This is protective gear, which helps our boy Tim avoid injuries when he falls. It protects him and, to some extent, gives Tim a rugged look.
Write in the comments if you like this map format. It's very important for us to know your opinion.
Story time. Today's story is about how Tim learned to ride a bike. Hi everyone! I'm so excited to share this amazing story with you. It was truly a joyful and thrilling week for Tim. It all started when he got his first bike. You should have seen his face when he unpacked it. Tim's eyes sparkled with happiness, and he was eager to try it out right away. The first day was full of fun. Tim rode around the yard, and every successful attempt felt like a little celebration. Do you remember when he first managed to ride a few meters without falling? His smile was so wide it seemed like it could light up the whole street. Every time he overcame a small challenge, he danced with joy and pride. Even when he fell, he got up with a genuine smile on his face, because he knew another success was just around the corner. For me, it was a real celebration watching Tim overcome obstacles with such positivity.
Well, it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. I must admit, watching Tim's first biking experiences was a real test for me. The first few attempts were full of anger and frustration. Each fall and failure made him flare up with irritation. He got mad when he couldn't keep his balance or when he crashed into bushes. It was hard for me to watch him struggle with his anger and frustration. Even when he couldn't immediately master the maneuvers, he still didn't give up. His anger and determination to improve helped him persevere, and that wasn't so bad after all. But every time he fell, I could feel my anger rising.
Oh, it was a real test for my anxiety. Every time Tim got on the bike, I literally trembled with worry. I was afraid he'd fall and get hurt, especially when he tried to ride over uneven terrain or perform tricky maneuvers. You should have seen how nervous he was when he stumbled or crashed into obstacles. I worried about every fall and every collision. Inside, I was shaking with fear that he wouldn't be able to handle it. But despite all this anxiety and worry, Tim kept moving forward. He learned to cope with his fears, and that was incredibly important for his success.
Honestly, I wasn't too thrilled about the process. Imagine how awful it was to see Tim coming home in dirty and muddy clothes after riding. Every time he fell into a puddle or mud, I just shuddered with disgust. The unpleasant sounds he made when getting up and his dirty hands after falls. It was all just revolting. But despite all these unpleasant moments, Tim continued to learn and move forward. His determination and willingness to keep going despite all this deserve respect. So despite all the difficulties and challenges, Tim managed to learn to ride a bike and now feels confident and happy. Each of us experienced our own emotions during this process, and that's what made his learning experience so special.
And the next story will be about how Tim learned to ride a skateboard. Hi, everyone. Today I'm going to tell you about how Tim learned to ride a skateboard. It was incredibly fun. Tim was so excited to get started. When he first got on the skateboard, his face lit up with joy. He couldn't wait to try skating around the park. Every time he successfully completed a trick or mastered a new move, his eyes sparkled with happiness. He was so thrilled with every little success, and I couldn't help but be excited with him.
Ugh, it wasn't easy. When Tim was just starting out, he often got frustrated and angry when things didn't go right. I felt my anger rise whenever he fell and his skateboard got damaged. It was infuriating when he couldn't pull off a trick that he had done before. His anger and frustration from falling sometimes made him forget about safety, which caused even more problems. But all these challenges made him stronger and more determined.
Oh, it was a real stress fest. I was constantly worried about Tim while he was skateboarding. Every jump and trick attempt gave me real anxiety. I was afraid he would fall and get hurt. It was especially scary when he attempted complex tricks at heights or on slippery surfaces. Every time he fell, my anxiety reached its peak. But as he got better at managing his skateboard, my anxiety calmed down a bit.
Ugh, I can't say I enjoyed this. There were moments when Tim would fall, and the dirty skateboard wheels would leave marks on his clothes and on the ground. It was unpleasant to see him come home in dirty clothes with bruises and scrapes. Sometimes he would forget about hygiene, and I had to see him eat with dirty hands or not clean his skateboard after riding. Although I tried to look away from these moments, Tim eventually learned to be more careful and take better care of himself and his equipment.
The next story is about how Tim learned to play the drums. I'm so excited to tell you about Tim learning to play the drums. It was truly magical. When he first sat down at the drums, his eyes lit up with excitement. The first few days were full of enthusiasm. He tried out different rhythms, mixed sounds, and even created his own combinations. Every time he got something right, his face lit up with a big smile. I remember how proud he was when he managed to play his favorite song. His joy was so contagious that even I felt excited. Every little success felt like a celebration, and seeing him so happy was incredibly delightful.
Well, I was also there for the lessons, and I have to admit it wasn't as easy as it might seem. Sometimes Tim turned into a real monster of anger when things didn't go right on the first try, especially when he was trying to master complex rhythms or change speeds. I saw his patience wearing thin and how he began to get angry at himself or the drums. There were many times when he couldn't keep his cool and would throw his drumsticks. It was tough to watch, and I couldn't help but get irritated. But that anger, though unpleasant, helped him face challenges and push through. You see, it was because of these difficult moments that he became stronger and better.
When Tim started his lessons, I just couldn't relax. I was constantly worried he might make a mistake, especially when he was trying out complex rhythms or when the drums were making loud noises. Every missed beat or wrong hit triggered real panic in me. I was anxious that he might overexert himself and worried that the loud sounds might disturb the neighbors. It was especially nerve-wracking when he practiced late at night. I tried to manage my fears and anxieties, and with each time he became more confident, I felt my anxiety gradually fading away.
Honestly, I wasn't thrilled about the process. When Tim was practicing hard, he was sweating, and his hands left marks on the drums. All that sweat and grime sometimes made me feel genuinely disgusted. I was unpleasantly surprised to see that he sometimes forgot to clean his drums after playing. This led to the drums becoming sticky and dirty, and the surrounding area wasn't in the best shape either. I felt a real discomfort from all this mess. Fortunately, over time, Tim started taking better care of his setup and keeping things in order, which made everything a little less disgusting. So, the journey of learning to play the drums was not only challenging, but also full of different emotions. Each feeling, whether it was joy, anger, anxiety, or disgust, played its role in this exciting process, and together, they made his learning experience truly unique.
We had so much fun today sharing stories and experiencing all the emotions with Tim. We hope you enjoyed it too. If you liked our stories and want to hear more, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.
Yeah, hit that like button if you enjoyed it, and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss our next adventures. I hate it when people forget about that. Tim worked hard, and your support means a lot.
Oh, I hope everything went well and nobody forgot to subscribe. I was a bit anxious that something might go wrong. Your likes and subscriptions help us know you want more, and that makes us really happy.
And also, please leave comments. We need to know what you like and what you don't. No junk in the comments, please. We're doing our best to make everything interesting and enjoyable for you.
Thank you for being with us. See you soon, and remember, always stay cheerful and active.
Don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you in the next video.
Take care and don't forget to check out our channel.
Goodbye. We hope we didn't leave you with any unpleasant feelings.
Bye-bye, and see you next time. Hello, friends. We're so happy you joined us today. We've got a lot of exciting stuff prepared for you, and we're sure you'll love it.
Yes, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our new adventures. Give us a like so we know you enjoy what we're doing.
Hey, don't waste time. Subscribe to the channel and hit those likes. We're working hard for you, and it's the only way to support us. So come on, do it now.
Yeah, and don't forget to leave a comment. It's important for us to know what you liked or what you'd like to see next.
Well, let's get started. Today, our boy Tim will be playing Roblox in the Escape Toby's Hospital mode.
Oh, a hospital. I hope it won't be too scary. I always get nervous in places like this.
A hospital, huh? Tim can handle anything that comes his way. Let's see how he gets out of this mess.
I hope it's clean there, and there won't be any dirty corridors or filthy instruments. So shall we begin?
Great! We found the key. Tim, let's hurry and open that door. We're almost out of here.
Oh no, the doctor is right behind us. Tim, please be careful and don't drop the key. We need to move quickly.
Run faster, Tim. That doctor won't catch us if you keep up the pace. We won't let him get to us.
I can hear his heavy breathing. Tim, get that door open now. I can't stand the thought of him getting any closer.
This is kind of fun, isn't it? Crawling through the vents feels like we're on a secret mission. Tim, you're doing great.
I don't know, Joy. It's so cramped in here, and we don't know what's ahead. What if there are traps or something worse?
Stop worrying, Anxiety. Tim can handle it. He's been through worse. Just keep moving forward and we'll be out of here in no time.
I hope this vent doesn't get any grosser. I can already feel the dust sticking to my skin. Ugh, this is so disgusting.
Hey, look. I think I see a way out just ahead. We'll be in a new room in no time. Stay positive, everyone.
Oh no, we're here. What's that smell? It's getting stronger. I have a bad feeling about this.
Great, what now? More obstacles? Tim, get ready. We can't afford to slow down.
Look at those pipes. Green slime is oozing out of them. This is a nightmare. Tim, you'll have to jump on those blocks to get across. Just don't touch the slime.
We have an incredible story for you about how Tim ended up on a thrilling treasure hunt on a mysterious island. It all started when Tim found an ancient map in an old library. The map marked the way to a legendary treasure hidden on the enigmatic island. Tim was absolutely thrilled at the idea of going on this adventure.
Oh, absolutely! But it wasn't just about finding the treasure. The island was full of traps and dangers. Tim faced off against nasty sea monsters and evil pirates. One of the toughest moments was when he had to cross a bridge made of creaky planks. Tim kept stumbling and falling into the water. It was definitely not an easy challenge.
I was so worried too. Tim was constantly in danger. In the dark depths of the cave where he was searching for the treasure, he couldn't find his way out. I was afraid he might get lost or fall into some trap. But he showed such determination and managed to find an ancient mechanism that revealed secret passages.
And those creepy caves. They were full of muck, mold, and horrifying spiders that made even me shudder. Tim kept stepping in sticky slime, and the horrid smell filled the cave. It was clear that it wasn't easy for him, but he kept going despite all the disgust.
And finally, after all the hardships, Tim found the treasure. It was hidden in an ancient chest, and when he opened it, fireworks of precious gems exploded into the air. Tim was on cloud 9, and we were all so happy that he had overcome all the obstacles and found the treasure.
Yes, and I must admit he showed incredible willpower. Even though I'm not thrilled that everything went so smoothly for him, he deserves praise for handling those horrible trials.
It was a tense journey, and I'm glad it ended well. Tim proved that even in the scariest situations, you can find a way out.
Yes, although it was frightening and disgusting, Tim managed to overcome all the challenges. And perhaps those unpleasant experiences made his adventure even more exciting.
In the end, Tim returned home full of new experiences and stories. And although the journey was tough, he proved that with determination and bravery, you can overcome any obstacle. I hope you enjoyed this story. Get ready for another exciting story about Tim's adventure in a fantastical realm. This time, Tim found himself in a magical land where he had to compete in a grand tournament to save the Enchanted Kingdom. The tournament had all kinds of incredible challenges, from dragon racing to wizard duels. Tim was beyond thrilled to prove himself in such a magical setting.
Oh, the tournament wasn't all rainbows and butterflies. Tim had to face off against some of the most ruthless competitors. There was a particularly nasty sorcerer who constantly tried to sabotage Tim's efforts. Tim was furious when his dragon was tampered with and almost lost the race. It was infuriating to see how low some people can go just to win.
I was on edge the whole time. The stakes were incredibly high, and one mistake could mean disaster. Tim had to navigate through a labyrinth filled with hidden traps and mystical beasts. There were moments when I feared he might get trapped or face a dangerous creature that could end his quest. Every turn seemed like it could be his last.
And the conditions in the labyrinth were just dreadful. The walls were covered in slimy moss, and the air was thick with a foul stench. Not to mention the creepy crawlies and the occasional burst of foul-smelling gas that made the whole experience just revolting. Tim had to wade through muck and fight off disgusting critters while trying to stay focused.
Despite all the challenges, Tim's perseverance paid off. He managed to navigate through the labyrinth, beat the sorcerer in the final duel, and win the grand prize, a magical artifact that could restore peace to the kingdom. Tim's excitement was through the roof when he realized he had saved the realm and achieved his goal.
It was satisfying to see Tim triumph over those who tried to bring him down. Even though it was a hard-fought victory, Tim showed that determination and courage can overcome even the nastiest obstacles.
I'm relieved that everything turned out well in the end. Tim's bravery and quick thinking saved the day. The tension was immense, but he handled it all with incredible skill.
As much as I hated the nasty conditions and the gross encounters, I have to give Tim credit for pushing through. His ability to endure the disgusting aspects of the quest and still come out on top was truly impressive.
And that's the story of Tim's magical tournament adventure. He proved once again that no matter how challenging or disgusting the situation, with determination and a positive spirit, you can achieve greatness. Thanks for listening, and I hope you enjoyed the story. Today, we're going to tell you an incredible story about how we, joy, anger, anxiety, and disgust, used to be in the mind of a criminal. Yes, it's true. We were part of his mind and helped him turn his life around. It all started many years ago when this criminal was just beginning his path.
Yeah, it was something. We were all filled with rage and hatred, and honestly, it was quite an unpleasant time. This criminal was furious, and I was the main source of his anger. He constantly directed his rage at others, which of course led him to a lot of problems.
On the other hand, I was there to remind him of all the possible dangers and consequences of his actions. My anxiety and fear often spilled over to him, making his life even more stressful. I was always in his head, highlighting how risky and dangerous everything was.
I can't forget how I filled his mind with repulsive thoughts. He was full of disgust towards the world around him, and that didn't help his mood at all. He only saw the bad in everything, which just made things worse.
But everything changed one fine day. At some point, he started to realize that this life wasn't bringing him happiness. I began to remind him that joy and satisfaction could be found outside of this darkness. We started working together to guide him on the right path.
Yeah, I admit it wasn't easy. He had to deal with my anger and learn to control it, but in the end, he learned to use it for positive purposes. He began fighting for justice instead of spreading chaos.
I also helped him by showing that fear and anxiety could be used to avoid real threats and make thoughtful decisions. I taught him that sometimes dangers can be prevented by taking the right measures.
And I played my part too. I helped him see that disgust and aversion could be overcome, and that it's important to strive for cleanliness and order. He learned to appreciate the good things in life and stopped focusing on what disgusted him.
In the end, we all helped him change his life. Now he lives an honest life, helps others, and has found his place in society. We are proud that we were able to help him become the best version of himself.
Yes, I'm glad he realized that anger isn't the path to happiness. He learned to use his energy for something good.
And I'm happy that his fear and anxiety now help him avoid real dangers rather than creating them.
And I'm glad he was able to overcome his negative feelings and find joy in life.
So, friends, that's the story. Even the darkest and most negative thoughts can be transformed into something good. It's never too late to change your life for the better. Thanks for joining us today. We hope you enjoyed our story.
Yeah, it's been a wild ride. Remember, even when things get tough, you've got the power to make a change.
And if you ever feel overwhelmed, just take a deep breath and think things through. You've got this.
Don't forget to keep things clean and stay true to yourself. It's the little things that make a big difference.
Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed our time together. Your support really helps.
Goodbye for now. Remember, keep striving for the best.
Bye, everyone. Hello, dear friends. I am Joy, and today we will be playing Roblox in the mode Escape Mr. Funny's Toy Shop.
Hello, I am Anxiety. I heard that this mode is very scary. I hope our boy Tim is not easily frightened and can handle this challenge.
And to help Tim get through this challenge, let's all support him together. To help him, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment with your support for Tim. It really helps him a lot.
It seems to me that I heard some laughter. Tim, go check it out. I think that sound came from the other corridor.
Yes, I also heard a very strange and frightening noise. Tim, be careful.
Whoa, what happened here? Everything is turned over and knocked down. I think this is not a very good sign.
Don't worry so much, Anxiety. Our Tim has already overcome many challenges and obstacles. I'm sure he will manage this one too.
These pipes look quite dangerous. They are small and easy to fall off. Just don't look down and it won't be so scary.
I see a lever over there. I think it needs to be pulled down to open the passage forward.
What if the lever is a trap? Tim, be careful!
It wasn't a trap after all, Disgust. Some platforms have risen. I think we need to jump across them to proceed.
I think danger awaits us after the stairs. I am very scared. I believe we'll encounter the one who caused the chaos in the main room. Wait, why did the gates close behind us and the lights go out? This is a very, very bad sign.
Don't worry, Anxiety. If something goes wrong and Tim struggles, I'll roast him on the biggest bonfire you've ever seen. Tim won't be left in trouble.
Ah! Someone very frightening is chasing us. It's definitely the one who caused the chaos in the main room. Just look at his walk. His legs are wobbling. It seems he was never taught to walk properly as a child and was bullied, which is why he became so angry.
Despite his awkward walk, he's very fast, but Tim has always been quicker than the rest. I believe he'll manage to escape this time too.
Tim, stop and hit him in the legs. I think that will make him fall, and you'll be able to run further away from him.
Tim, don't listen to him. If you stop, he'll definitely do something to you. Keep running as fast as you can.
Maybe he wants to be friends?
Of course not, Joy. Just look at him. If he wanted to be friends, he wouldn't be chasing us with such a scary face. Plus, he could have told us he wanted to be friends. Yuck. He's so disgusting.
These bars are not very reassuring. Look ahead. The mesh has fallen off completely.
Tim has managed to get past the bars, but listen carefully. There are some familiar sounds ahead.
Those are the sounds of the game Red Light, Green Light. I've seen it somewhere before, but I forgot the exact details. However, I remember the rules. You need to move when it's green light and stay still when it's red light. If you move during red light, something very bad will happen to you.
Tim is almost through this game, which means it's time for us to tell stories. Now, let's tell the story of how Tim went fishing for the first time. Once upon a time, Tim decided to go fishing for the first time. It was a bright, sunny day, perfect for an adventure. Tim had always been curious about fishing, so we, his inner voices, were excited to help him make the most of this experience. As Tim arrived at the lake, his eyes sparkled with anticipation. He set up his fishing rod with a sense of wonder, and I, Joy, couldn't help but cheer him on. "Look at him go!" I exclaimed. "He's doing great so far. This is going to be so much fun. Just imagine all the joy and excitement when he catches his first fish."
But as Tim prepared to cast his line, anxiety crept in. Oh no, what if he doesn't catch anything? What if the fish aren't biting? What if he gets bored or frustrated? What if something goes wrong with the fishing gear? I worried, watching Tim with concern. He might face some challenges, and I hope
Anger, wasn't too pleased with the situation either. Why does fishing have to be so complicated? I grumbled. Why can't things just be easy? Why does Tim have to deal with tangled lines and slippery fish? It's so annoying when things don't go perfectly. But even though I was frustrated, I knew it was important to support Tim through the challenges. He has to learn to deal with these obstacles, I said. But it's definitely not fair that it's so difficult.
Disgusted by the messiness of fishing, I looked at the bait with distaste. Ugh, look at that slimy worm. Why does fishing have to involve such gross things? The smell and the texture are just awful, I complained. But Tim is trying his best despite the unpleasant aspects. We need to support him through this, even if it's really disgusting. Even though the fishing experience was quite disgusting, seeing Tim's happiness made it a bit more bearable. I suppose it's worth it if he's happy. Maybe the next time won't be so gross. We just need to get through the icky parts to enjoy the success. In the end, it was a memorable day for Tim, filled with challenges and triumphs. And despite all our different feelings, we were all proud of how he handled his first fishing adventure.
I had to admit, seeing Tim catch the fish made me a bit less frustrated. All right, I guess he handled the complications well. Even though it was annoying at times, he managed to overcome the challenges. Maybe fishing isn't so bad after all.
Even though Tim succeeded, I still had some lingering worries. I hope he's careful with the fish and the equipment, and I hope he doesn't get too disheartened if things don't go as smoothly next time. But he did really well today, and that's what matters.
Despite the worries, frustrations, and unpleasantness, Tim kept trying. And guess what? He finally felt a tug on his line. His face lit up with pure joy as he reeled in his very first fish. "Look at that! He did it!" I cheered. All our support and patience paid off. Tim has caught his first fish, and it's a moment he'll always remember with a big smile. Before we start the next story, I'd like to ask you to subscribe, like the video, and hit the notification bell next to the subscribe button so you don't miss Tim's new adventures.
The story will be about how Tim learned to make wooden crafts.
Once upon a time, Tim decided he wanted to learn how to make wooden crafts. It was an exciting new adventure for him, and I, Joy, was thrilled to be part of it. The day started with Tim eagerly gathering his materials: wood, tools, and paint. "Look at him go!" I cheered. "He's so enthusiastic and ready to create something amazing. This is going to be a fun and rewarding experience for him." Tim carefully followed the instructions for his first project: a small wooden birdhouse. As he measured, cut, and assembled the pieces, I couldn't help but feel delighted. He's doing such a great job. Just imagine how happy he'll be when he finishes his first craft. This is a fantastic way for him to express his creativity and skill.
But as Tim continued his project, anxiety began to worry. What if he makes a mistake with the measurements? What if the pieces don't fit together properly? What if he gets frustrated when things don't go as planned? I fretted, watching Tim with concern. There's so much that can go wrong with woodworking. I hope he stays patient and doesn't get too discouraged if things don't turn out perfectly.
Anger was getting frustrated with some of the challenges Tim faced. "Why does it have to be so complicated?" I grumbled. "The tools are difficult to handle, and the instructions are confusing. It's so annoying when things don't work out easily." Despite my frustration, I knew it was important to support Tim through these obstacles. He has to learn to deal with these challenges, I said. But it's definitely not fair that it's so hard.
Disgusted by the messiness of the project, I grimaced as Tim worked. Ugh, look at all the sawdust and the sticky glue. Why does woodworking have to be so messy and unpleasant? The smell of the paint and the texture of the wood are just gross, I complained. But even though it's really unpleasant, Tim is putting in a lot of effort. We need to support him through this, even if it's quite disgusting.
Despite the worries, frustrations, and unpleasantness, Tim persevered. His dedication paid off as he completed his first wooden birdhouse. "Look at that! He did it!" I cheered. "He's finished his craft, and it looks fantastic." All our support and encouragement helped him get through the challenges. He's so proud of his work, and it's such a joy to see his hard work come to fruition.
Even though Tim succeeded, I still had some lingering concerns. I hope he's careful with the tools in the future and doesn't get discouraged by any mistakes he might make. Woodworking can be tricky, but he did really well today. I'm relieved he managed to finish his project successfully.
I had to admit, Seeing Tim complete his birdhouse made me feel a bit less frustrated. All right, maybe it wasn't as easy as it seemed, and he handled the difficulties well. Even though it was annoying at times, he managed to overcome the challenges. Maybe woodworking isn't so bad after all.
Even though the woodworking project was quite messy and unpleasant, seeing Tim's satisfaction made it more tolerable. I suppose it's worth it if he's happy with his work. Maybe the next project won't be so gross. We just need to get through the messy parts to enjoy the success. In the end, Tim's experience with woodworking was a memorable one, filled with challenges and achievements. Despite all our different feelings, we were all proud of how he learned and succeeded in his new craft.
And so the stories come to an end. Tim has defeated the main boss and is nearing the end of the level. I believe that thanks to Tim's hard work, he's breezing through these stages. If you put in a little effort, like the video, and subscribe to the channel, it will make Tim very happy. Goodbye, everyone. Hello, dear friends. Today, we are going to escape from the Pomni prison. But before we start, let's all give a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. This will help our boy Tim to complete challenges more often so that videos can come out more frequently. Let's get started with the escape.
Yes, let's get started.
I heard that Pomni can be beautiful, but you should never fall for this provocation. It's a trap. That's how she lures people in and then locks them in a cage. Therefore, you must always remember that she is very evil and bad. Remember, you can never judge someone as good just because of their appearance. Inside, that person could be very bad and betray you at any moment.
Yes, I agree with Anger. You can never put your hopes on someone just because of their beauty.
I think you need to break that grate with the key on the wall. Take this key and break the grate so we can move forward.
Wow, everything here is so colorful, but I don't like it at all. She probably lures people in not only with her beauty, but also with the brightness and vividness of her rooms. But we mustn't pay attention to that either. Otherwise, we'll end up behind bars again and have to escape all over.
She runs much faster than the usual guards. Although it's strange because men are usually faster and more enduring, but apparently not this time. I think she runs day and night to catch her captives. Otherwise, she wouldn't catch anyone.
Yes, she is fast. But our boy Tim is much faster than her. She will never catch him, even if she trained every day to run faster than she currently can. That's because Tim is naturally strong, fast, and enduring. This helps him escape from all kinds of troubles.
I really dislike the brightness of her rooms. It's blinding and irritating to my eyes. I feel like if we don't get out of here soon, we might go blind from all this bright color.
Wow, we've descended into some kind of cave or underground tunnel. Perhaps it was dug by previous escapees from this prison. Despite being underground, it's still very bright here. It looks like colorful and vivid crystals have grown everywhere. The bright light reminds me of fireworks that are set off during various celebrations, such as New Year's, birthdays, and so on.
There are some platforms here. I think we need to jump across them to move forward. Tim, be careful when you're jumping. One wrong move, and you'll fall straight into the lava.
Let's not distract Tim and let him complete this level, so we'll tell the story of how Tim learned to ride a bicycle. One day, Tim decided he wanted to learn how to ride a bike. It was a warm, sunny day, perfect for a new adventure. I, Joy, couldn't wait to help Tim tackle this challenge. Tim took his new bike and went to the empty street near his house. "What an exciting moment," I exclaimed. "Tim is about to do something new and thrilling. I'm sure he'll have a great time." At first, Tim was a little nervous, but I encouraged him. "You can do it, Tim. It's going to be fun and amazing. You'll feel the wind in your hair and the freedom of movement." He put on his helmet and grabbed the handlebars with determination. We were all supporting him.
As Tim began trying to balance, anxiety started to worry. Oh no, what if he falls? What if he gets hurt? What if he can't learn to ride and gets upset? I fretted, watching his every move. Biking can be dangerous. I hope he's careful and doesn't get into trouble.
I, Anger, was irritated by all the difficulties Tim faced. Why does riding a bike have to be so hard? I grumbled. Why can't he just learn immediately? It's so frustrating when things don't go smoothly. But despite my frustration, I knew it was important to support Tim. He has to deal with these challenges to get better, I said. But it's definitely annoying when he falls and makes mistakes.
Disgust watched the process with thinly veiled disdain. Ew, look at those dirty knees and elbows from falling. Why does biking have to be so messy and unpleasant? The sweat and dirt are awful, I complained. But Tim isn't giving up despite all the unpleasant moments. We need to support him, even if it's really gross.
Despite all the worries, frustrations, and unpleasantness, Tim kept practicing diligently. His efforts paid off, and one day he finally managed to ride without falling. "Look at that! He did it!" I cheered. "He learned to ride a bike." All our support and encouragement helped him get through the challenges. He's so proud of himself, and it's such a joy to see his success.
Although Tim succeeded, I still worried a bit. I hope he's careful on the road and always wears his helmet. Biking can be dangerous, but he did great today. I'm glad he learned to ride, but I'll keep worrying about his safety.
I had to admit that seeing Tim finally riding without falling made me a little less irritated. All right, maybe it wasn't as easy as it seemed, and he handled the challenges well. Despite the frustrations, he overcame all the obstacles. Maybe biking isn't so bad after all.
Even though the process of learning to ride a bike was messy and unpleasant, seeing Tim's satisfaction made it more tolerable. I suppose it's worth it if he's happy. Maybe next time won't be so gross. We just have to get through the unpleasant moments to enjoy the success. In the end, Tim's experience learning to ride a bike was memorable, filled with challenges and achievements. Despite all our different feelings, we were all proud of how he learned and succeeded in his new skill.
Before we start the next story, we'd like to ask you to subscribe to the channel and give us a like. The next story will be about Tim's first experience at a concert of his favorite band.
The day Tim had been waiting for had finally arrived. His first concert of his favorite band. Joy, was absolutely thrilled for him. Tim had been counting down the days and preparing for this moment for weeks. When the big day came, he wore his favorite band t-shirt, packed his tickets, and headed to the venue with a huge smile on his face. "This is going to be amazing," I cheered. Tim is about to experience something he's dreamed about for so long. The music, the atmosphere, the excitement. It's going to be unforgettable. As Tim walked into the venue, I felt an overwhelming sense of happiness. Look at him. He's so excited and ready for this experience. It's going to be one of the best nights of his life.
But as Tim got closer to the venue, anxiety started to creep in. What if he loses his tickets? What if there's a problem with the entrance? What if the concert is sold out and he can't get in? I worried, watching him with concern. There are so many things that could go wrong. I hope everything goes smoothly for him. Inside the venue, I continued to fret. The crowd looks huge. What if Tim gets lost or overwhelmed by all the people? What if he has trouble finding his seat? Anxiety was on high alert, hoping that Tim would stay calm and enjoy the concert despite any potential issues.
Anger was feeling frustrated by some of the challenges Tim faced. Why is it so crowded? Why are people pushing and shoving? This is so annoying, I grumbled. It's so irritating when people don't respect personal space. Why can't everyone just be considerate and let Tim enjoy the concert? As the concert started, I became even more irritated. The noise is so loud. Why does it have to be this overwhelming? It's just not fair to Tim that the sound is so intense and the crowd is so chaotic.
Disgust had its own issues with the concert experience. Ugh! Look at all the spilled drinks and trash on the floor. Why does it have to be so messy? The sticky floors and the smell of sweat are just gross, I complained. And the smell of food mixed with all the sweat is really unpleasant. Despite the mess, Disgust acknowledged that Tim was having a good time. Even though it's disgusting here, I suppose it's worth it if Tim is enjoying the concert. It's just something we have to deal with in these kinds of situations.
Despite all the worries, frustrations, and unpleasantness, Tim was having an incredible time. The band came on stage, and the music was just as amazing as he had hoped. Look at him. He's so happy, singing along and enjoying every moment. This is exactly what he dreamed of, and it's such a joy to see him so thrilled. Tim's excitement was contagious, and even though there were some challenges, the overall experience was fantastic. He's living his dream right now. This night will be a cherished memory for him for years to come.
Even as the concert went on, I was still a bit anxious. I hope Tim stays safe and has a good time. The crowd can be overwhelming, but he seems to be handling it well. I'm relieved that he's enjoying himself despite the challenges.
As the concert went on, I had to admit that the frustration of the crowd and the noise seemed less significant. Okay, maybe it wasn't perfect, and there were some annoying moments, but Tim is really enjoying himself. I suppose the experience is worth the inconvenience.
Even though the venue was messy and unpleasant, seeing Tim's joy made it more bearable. It's still gross here, but if Tim is happy, that's what matters. We just have to get through the unpleasant aspects to enjoy the success of his experience. In the end, Tim's first concert experience was memorable, filled with excitement and challenges. Despite all our different feelings, we were all happy to see how much he enjoyed his favorite band's performance.
Well, the game is coming to an end, and Tim has defeated the final boss. I think he's learned that sometimes appearances can be deceiving and can lead to very bad consequences. It's important to always stay vigilant and cautious to avoid trouble. I hope you've already liked the video and subscribed to the channel. Well, I'm signing off now. Goodbye, everyone. Hello, dear friends. I'm Joy, and I'm so happy you're with us today.
Hey there, I'm Anger. Ready for something really exciting? We've got something special for you.
Hi, it's Anxiety. I hope you're all doing well. Today's adventure will be a bit tense, but we'll get through it together.
Hi, this is Disgust. I hope you're all ready for new challenges and interesting moments. Let's get started.
Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and like this video. It helps us keep doing what we love.
And leave comments so we know which adventures you like the most.
Yes, and share your thoughts. It's important for us to know what you think.
Ready? Then let's go. Let's start our adventure.
Today, Tim and I are going to play Roblox in the Escape Baby Bobby daycare mode. I think it's going to be a lot of fun and very exciting.
Yeah, let's see if we can escape this daycare. It better be challenging.
I'm already feeling a bit nervous. Daycares can be full of surprises.
Let's just hope it's not too messy. I'm not a fan of sticky situations.
All right, let's get started and see what adventures await us.
Oh no, look at this huge room. And there are so many platforms to jump across. What if Tim misses and falls? These platforms are so small and far apart. What if he loses his balance? It's so scary. I don't know if he can do it.
Calm down. Tim can do this. He just needs to focus and be careful. It's a test of strength and endurance, and Tim will pass it. Stop doubting. If Tim gets nervous, he will definitely fall. He needs to stay focused and act confidently. We have to support him, not scare him, so let's cheer him on together.
You're right, Anger. It's just, I can't help worrying. I hope everything goes well. Okay, I'll try not to stress so much. Go, Tim, you can do it. We believe in you.
That's better. Hey, Tim, watch each platform carefully, take confident steps, and don't rush. You can do this. Imagine you're a hero overcoming all obstacles in your path. You got this. We believe in you.
Today we have an incredible story about Tim who accidentally found a magical flying skateboard. Yes, you heard it right. A skateboard that can fly. Tim was over the moon when he first soared through the air, and this was the start of his amazing adventure.
But joy was short-lived. As soon as Tim began using the skateboard, he ran into problems. Evil trolls appeared in town, wanting to steal the magical skateboard. They were a real threat. Tim and his friends had to fight to protect the skateboard from these nasty trolls.
Every time the trolls showed up, I was filled with worry. I always feared for Tim's safety. For instance, when the trolls captured one of Tim's friends, he had to carry out a dangerous rescue in underground catacombs. Every step was fraught with danger, and I was terrified at the thought of something bad happening.
I can't forget what Tim had to endure. When he sneaked into the troll's lair, he stumbled upon a disgusting swamp full of sticky, foul-smelling slime. The trolls lived in filth, and their lair was filled with unpleasant odors and revolting creatures. I was just appalled by what was happening.
But despite all the difficulties, Tim showed incredible courage and ingenuity. He used the magical skateboard to skillfully maneuver through obstacles and escape from the trolls. In the end, he managed to defeat the trolls and return the skateboard to its rightful place so no one else would be hurt.
Yes, Tim did it, but it was a real battle. The trolls not only wanted the skateboard, but also destroyed half the town. Every moment was filled with conflict and aggression.
But despite all the fears and worries, Tim and his friends managed to overcome. They learned to work together and use their strengths to tackle every challenge. It was very tense, but the outcome was worth it.
And even though the adventure was full of unpleasant moments, Tim showed that with determination and bravery, You can overcome any obstacle, no matter how awful.
So, kids, that was an amazing adventure. Thanks for spending this time with us. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss out on new stories and adventures of Tim. And the next story will be about Tim, who unexpectedly found himself in an incredible world where every day repeats over and over as if he had entered Groundhog Day. At first, it seemed amazing and fun, as Tim could do anything without worrying about the consequences.
But, as often happens, not everything was smooth. Tim quickly realized that each day repeated with small but annoying changes. Even simple things, like the order in his room or what he did in the morning, became a constant source of irritation. He tried to change his actions, but nothing could alter the fact that everything started from scratch again.
What worried me the most was that Tim didn't know when this endless day would end. Every time he thought he found a way to escape or change something, he woke up again on the same day. This created a huge sense of anxiety because he didn't know how to cope with the cycle.
And not only that. Every day Tim faced the same unpleasant things. The memories of having to clean dirty spots in the house or repeatedly tidy up things that were already cleaned were just disgusting. All of this made Tim's day even more unpleasant.
But despite all the difficulties, Tim found a way to use this strange situation to his advantage. He learned to make each thing better than before. He used every repetitive day to perfect his skills, help others, and have fun. It was amazing how he turned even the most ordinary moments into something special.
Even though he continued to face annoying repetitions, Tim learned to deal with it. He stopped getting angry at every little mishap and started using his new skills to overcome challenges.
I saw how Tim became more confident and calm despite the constant repetition of the day. He learned to manage his anxiety by focusing on his goals and trying not to worry about when it would all end.
And even though many things remained unpleasant, Tim learned to take lessons from them. He stopped complaining about dirty and disgusting things and began to see them from a new perspective. It was unexpected but still useful.
In the end, when Tim learned to find joy in every moment and used his experience to improve the lives of those around him, the Groundhog Day ended. He returned to normal time, but with new knowledge and skills that helped him handle any difficulty.
And although the path was long and irritating, Tim managed to overcome this challenge and became stronger.
I was so happy to see Tim learn to cope with anxiety and find a way to handle any situation.
Yes, and even despite all the unpleasant moments, Tim was able to use his skills to make his life better. It was truly amazing.
And the next story will be about how Tim found himself on a magical island where all wishes come true. This island was full of amazing things: flying crystals, talking animals, and an ocean of chocolate milk. Tim was on cloud 9 with happiness.
But not everything was so rosy. The island had its problems. At first, Tim struggled with magical creatures who often got their wishes mixed up, leading to mishaps. Some island games were incredibly difficult and even frustrating.
I was worried about the unpredictability of the island. Every day, something new and strange happened. Snake rain, unexpected disappearances of objects, and unpredictable behavior from magical creatures. Tim didn't know what to expect, and it made him very anxious.
And I was grossed out by how some magical creatures left their mess everywhere. These creatures were messy, and there was dirt and sticky spots all over the place. Tim tried to find a way to deal with this mess, but it was quite a challenge.
Despite all the difficulties, Tim didn't miss a chance to enjoy the happy moments. He explored the island, met kind creatures, and took part in amazing adventures. In the end, he found a way to use the island's magic to make his day even more magical.
Although the island was full of challenges, Tim learned to handle them. He used his skills to overcome the toughest trials and turned frustration into motivation.
Over time, Tim got used to the strange and unpredictable events. He began to adapt to the new rhythm of life on the island and even found joy in unexpected twists.
Tim also found ways to deal with the dirt and mess. He became more tolerant of inconveniences and learned to find pleasure even in the least appealing aspects of island life.
Thus, Tim completed his adventure on the magical island, full of wonders and amazing discoveries. He learned to find joy even in tough situations and made the experience unforgettable.
Tim became stronger and more confident despite all the difficulties.
He learned to handle unexpected situations and grew more self-assured.
And even the dirt and mess didn't ruin his adventure. Tim learned to cope with inconveniences and find something positive in them.
So our adventure ends on a high note, with new knowledge and experiences that Tim will remember for a long time. Well, our stories have come to an end. We hope you enjoyed listening to them as much as we enjoyed telling them. We put a lot of heart into them and tried to make them interesting and exciting for you. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us continue creating new and thrilling adventures for you.
Yeah, and every like, every subscription, and every comment really matters to us. We want our stories to reach as many people as possible, and your support helps us a lot. Don't forget to leave comments so we know what stories you want to hear next. Your thoughts and suggestions are very valuable to us.
Thank you for being with us today. Avoid dirty situations unless they're in a story. Keep your space clean and your heart joyful. We're happy to share these moments with you and hope our stories bring you joy and inspiration.
Goodbye, everyone. See you next time. Hello, everyone, dear friends. I'm Joy, and we're so happy to see you again. Today, we have an incredible adventure planned. But before we start, let's make sure you're subscribed to our channel.
Hi, everyone. I'm Disgust, and I'm here too. Yes, Joy, you're right. But don't you all want to hit that subscribe button and give us a like so you don't miss our new videos?
Exactly. Your likes and subscriptions help us create more interesting content for you. And don't forget to click the bell so you're always notified about our new releases.
And of course, leave a comment. We always love to hear your opinions. Just remember to keep it clean and polite. After all, no one wants to read nasty comments.
Thank you for your support. It really means a lot to us. So, are you ready for a new adventure?
Let's get started. And remember, subscribing, liking, and commenting are your tickets to our next incredible journey.
Today, Tim will be stealing diamonds from a jewelry store in Roblox.
I don't think we should do this. It's very dangerous. What if he gets caught and sent to jail? What if he gets into trouble and something happens to him? I'm very worried about our boy Tim. Look through this window. There are lasers, and I've heard about them. It's a security system. If you touch one of those lasers, the alarm will go off. You mustn't touch those beams under any circumstances, or there will be trouble.
Wow, look at all these lasers. It's like we're in a high-tech spy movie. Isn't it exciting? I just know Tim is going to navigate through this like a pro.
Exciting? This is a disaster waiting to happen. Those lasers are set up to catch us in one wrong move. And look at that guard over there. This is not going to be easy.
Look, the guard is asleep at his desk. This is incredible. It's our chance to slip by while he hasn't noticed us. What luck?
He's asleep? This is infuriating. He's not even doing his job, and we have to risk everything because of his laziness. We need to act quickly and carefully not to wake him up.
This is so risky. If he wakes up, we could be in serious trouble. We need to move extremely carefully and avoid making any noise.
Ugh, what a disgusting guard. Even asleep at his desk with everything around him dirty. All right, let's focus on not waking him up.
Don't worry. Everything will be fine. Tim, move quietly and cautiously. We have a chance to get through this if we stay smart and focused.
Be careful, Tim. Move past him quietly without making any noise. If anything goes wrong, this lazy guard could get us into serious trouble.
Stay focused on what you're doing. Don't make sudden movements and try not to make any noise. If the guard wakes up, it will be a disaster.
Tim, just stay away from that disgusting guard and be careful. I hope he doesn't wake up and cause us more problems.
We can do this if we work together and stay positive. Good luck, Tim. We believe in you. Today, we have an incredible story about how Tim went on a space adventure. It all started when he won a ticket on a spaceship in an intergalactic lottery. Can you imagine? A real spaceship. Tim was thrilled and immediately began preparing for the journey.
Yeah, I remember how worried I was. Space is so huge and unknown. What if the ship breaks down? Or what if they run out of oxygen? I kept thinking about these dangers and couldn't calm down.
Seriously, anxiety, calm down a bit. Tim can handle it. What irritated me more was the thought that the spaceship might be unreliable. And what if someone on the crew turned out to be irresponsible? I was ready to take on anyone who tried to stop Tim.
Ew, let's not forget about cleanliness. Spaceships can be so dirty. Dust, germs, all that stuff disgusts me. I hope they had good filters and cleaners on board.
When Tim finally took off, it was amazing. He saw Earth from space, like a blue marble floating in the vastness. And then the real adventures began. The first destination was the mysterious planet Zelonia, covered in luminescent jungles.
But the jungles looked so dangerous. Unknown creatures, poisonous plants. I kept thinking something terrible was about to happen.
Listen, Anxiety, stop being scared. Tim is a true hero. He made it through the jungle despite all the dangers. And when one of the creatures tried to attack him, he bravely defended himself.
Don't forget that the jungle was full of dirt and slime. But Tim kept moving forward. That surprised me a bit, because I would have gone home at the first hint of dirt.
And finally, after all the trials, Tim found an ancient temple hidden deep in the jungle. Inside the temple was a magical crystal that could grant wishes. Tim used it to return home and share his incredible adventures with his friends.
I was so happy when he came back safe and sound. All those dangers, it was too much for me.
Yeah, I'm glad too. But the main thing is that Tim proved that courage and determination can overcome any obstacle.
And thank goodness he finally cleaned up after all those adventures. Cleanliness is the key to health.
We have a fantastic story about how Tim discovered a hidden underwater city. It all started when he found an ancient map in his attic. The map showed the way to the legendary city of Atlantica, said to be filled with treasures and secrets. Tim was ecstatic and couldn't wait to embark on this underwater adventure.
Oh, I remember how worried I was. Diving deep into the ocean? What if his oxygen tank ran out? Or if he encountered dangerous sea creatures? The ocean is vast and unpredictable, and my mind was racing with all the possible dangers.
Seriously, Anxiety, chill out. Tim's got this. What really got me fired up was the thought that someone else might find the city first and steal all the treasures. Tim had to be quick and brave to get there before anyone else.
Ew! Let's not forget about the ocean. It's filled with all sorts of unpleasant things. Seaweed, fish slime, and who knows what else. I was just hoping Tim had a good wetsuit to keep all that yuck away.
When Tim finally set off on his journey, he used a high-tech submarine to dive deep into the ocean. He saw incredible things, colorful coral reefs, schools of shimmering fish, and even a playful dolphin that guided him part of the way. It was like entering a magical world beneath the waves.
Enough with the fear. Tim was determined. When he finally saw the outline of Atlantica, he knew he was on the right track. But then he had to navigate through a maze of underwater caves. It made my blood boil thinking about all the obstacles he had to overcome, but Tim kept pushing forward.
But then, as he got closer to the location marked on the map, the water became darker and more ominous. Strange shadows moved in the depths, and I couldn't stop thinking about what might be lurking there. My heart was pounding with worry.
And let's not forget the murky water in those caves. It was filled with silt and algae. Just gross. But Tim bravely swam through, keeping his eyes on the prize. I had to admire his determination, even if it was pretty disgusting down there.
Finally, Tim emerged into a vast underwater cavern where the city of Atlantica lay before him. It was breathtaking. Ancient structures covered in sea plants, glowing with a mysterious light. And in the center of the city was a treasure trove filled with gold, jewels, and artifacts from a long-lost civilization.
I was so relieved when he found the treasure. But then I started worrying about how he would get it all back to the surface safely. What if something went wrong?
Tim's no quitter. He carefully packed up as much as he could carry and made his way back through the caves. When he finally surfaced, I was cheering. He'd done it. He'd found Atlantica and its treasures.
And he made it back without getting too covered in sea slime, which was a huge relief. Tim's adventure was incredible, but I was glad he was back on dry land.
Once, Tim decided to go on a treasure hunt in an abandoned castle. We were all thrilled about this adventure. Just imagine, old walls, hidden passages, and secret rooms full of mysteries. Tim was ready for any challenges because at the end of the journey, untold riches awaited him.
But of course, I started to worry immediately. What if the castle collapses? Or what if there are ghosts? Tim was so determined that my worries only grew. Every creaking floorboard made me anxious. Tim, be careful. Are you sure this is safe? I kept repeating over and over.
And I was furious at Anxiety for her constant fears. Enough already with the fear, Anxiety. Tim is doing great. And anyway, if he meets anyone, I'll take care of it myself, I grumbled. This castle is nothing compared to our determination.
And I was disgusted by the state of the place. Dust, cobwebs, and strange smells. It was too much. Ugh, Tim. Just look at how dirty it is here. Be careful. Don't touch anything with your hands, I warned.
But Tim didn't give up. He found clues, solved puzzles, and got closer to the treasure room. And finally, he opened an old chest full of gold and jewels. We all rejoiced. It was an incredible adventure that showed our fears and doubts were in vain. Tim proved that with determination and bravery, any obstacles can be overcome. That's how our thrilling journey ended. I hope you enjoyed it. We're so glad you joined us for this adventure. We hope you enjoyed our stories and had as much fun as we did.
Yes, yes. And if you liked it, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It's really important for us to keep you updated on all our new adventures. Also, please give us a thumbs up so we know you enjoy what we're doing.
Hey, don't delay. Subscribe to the channel and hit that like button. We worked hard for you, and it's the only way to support us. So come on, do it now.
Yes, and don't forget to leave a comment. We want to know what you liked or what you'd like to see next.
Thank you so much for your support. We can't wait to see you again and embark on new adventures together. See you soon, friends.